So let's talk about dip painting now. Okay. So we're going to talk about dip painting. So we're going to talk about hydro dipping now. Okay. So hydro dipping is using oil-based paint to go and dip our paints. Okay. Okay, hydro dipping is oil on top of water. Simple, right? Now, you do get a couple different effects. It was painted solid blue, right? Then we dip, and you'll see it's like streaky. If you did the silver, we dipped and we pulled it out. All right, so we're gonna push it, okay, grab it, and we'll grab the paint. You kind of see how it's attaching to it? Yeah. Push it. Now, it's gonna get buoyant. You'll feel it like wanting to push back on you. Yeah. But we want to go all the way under to catch all that. We good? Mm-hmm. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Okay, you like that? Pretty
yeah.
cool?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna. Now, if you want, if I leave it like this, see how they're little droplets? Yeah. It will leave drop. If I shake it, there won't be any droplets. Do you want droplets or not?
No.
Okay. So what you're gonna do is just shake it a little bit. Mm-hmm. And those droplets will dry off. If you have it kind of thin, it comes out in lines, right? If you want it swirly, you can go and swirl, and the black is a little bit more swirly, you'll see. I'll show you. We put the black on and we took a thing and we swirled the paint, okay? If you want dots to be seen, if you leave when we pull it out, you leave the water on it, you don't shake it off, the droplets will dry and you'll have like little dots all through it. And I'm going to show you on the computer samples of all this, okay? If you shake it, the dots will come off and you won't have that. This style, so she's going to put this. How long do you leave you let it dry that way? Yeah, yeah. So when you hang it, if I hang it, they'll run, they would run down. If I want that, I can always do this. I've done this before, we've done, and then we flipped it, we flipped it. We have other times where we held it like this. On the vice tables, depending on what you're trying to do. So you put something that you don't worry about sticking to or whatever. Yeah, yeah. It's depending on, again, a lot of times it's held by the vice table, held in the air, held or hung. Yeah.
On that one, did you enter that as just people wood?
No. If you do you see how the inside the blue, it's all painted?
It was a blue base coat.
Yeah. I didn't have to go and seal it because the spray sealed it. You get that? The only time you have to worry about sealing is if you're doing the wood stain and you want to keep the entire, if you're doing stain, you got to seal that inside. Other than that, if you spray it, you don't have to worry about it. So this was all sprayed that blue. And then I think, and you can dip 2 colors at once, up to 3. You could do 4, but it starts getting muddled. I recommend, like this kid, we're going to do this green one. He wants to do red. He said he wanted to do red, white, and blue. We're just gonna do 1 color today. But we could do 2 colors, but I don't recommend, like, if you get too many colors, it gets muted. It gets weird. Does that make sense? So the other thing, come here. You want to talk about it or not? Yeah. Okay. This is her guitar. Okay. She mixed this. So if we look at this guitar, this is ink.
Yep.
So this side is ink. Did you inked it for? No, you painted it white? No, you taped it.
She did.
Okay, what'd you do you did the ink, didn't you?
No, I sprayed.
You taped, okay. She taped it, protected this with tape. You need good tape to see this line. Then she sprayed this white, let this dry. Then this was taped. Did we dip it with tape over it?
Yes.
So it was all taped. We dipped it. That's where this swirling came from. Pulled it out, let it dry. And this was not the blue you thought was going to come out at all. We thought it was dark blue and it came out. That's the only thing is everyone's going to look different. There's no way. You don't go, oh, hers is going to be exactly. It's never going to happen. When you dipped it, we pulled it out. We let it dry, pulled the tape off. Then she went and inked this side. She taped this and inked this. Does that make sense? Okay. And the whole thing, and it was white? Yeah. Oh, the whole thing was white. Okay.
That sealed everything.
The sealed everything.
Sprayed it white.
Okay, but I just want to see how we kind of mix that. We're gonna dip this. Now we can oil-based. So this is just Rust-Oleum, yellow, black. You could tons of different colors, right? So different colors. Couple warnings. At first I did buy some bigger. I wouldn't recommend that because the paint goes bad and you end up just having to get rid. So always do like small, even, and you'll not use all of this. You got to really shake it though, because the oil, red filament, red paint, the pigment, however they make red paint, I have a harder time with the red, just so you know. When we put it in the tub, there's something about that red filament. It wants to disperse much quicker. Even if you have a fresh bottle, just realize red does weird, a fresh thing does weird things. We good with that? Okay.
Dipping. Just drop it. Come over and see it so you can see it. So we're gonna go, put it on top, and you can see it kind of. Some of the paint rides on the top better. Then I'll take something like this and just kind of go through and break the swirl up. And you can tell me if you're like, oh, I like that, or I don't like that, or you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna add a little more. I'm gonna try to go all around the outside.
That's cool.
You're trying to get it on the surface, not under. You see how some of it went down and just fell down?
Because it's like dripping too fast
Yeah,
or
it
something.
will go like, I'm going too fast. I think I might need to like do a smaller head. Okay, so now you're gonna take your guitar, pick it up, and you're capturing where you like the idea, okay? Take two hands on there. Capture. See how it's like
It's gonna look cool.
the stuff is going, it's kind of pulling it down. And sometimes we can kind of pull it this way to try to catch the rest of it. All the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Okay, leave it there for a second. Don't pull it up.
Oh, dude.
So now what I'm going to do
That's
is
gonna look
go
sick.
and I'm taking the paint that's off the top,
You already can see some of
go all
it.
the way down.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Okay, now I'll pull it up.
Oh, that is
Oh, okay, and let's kind of let it drain a little.
wow.
You got a picture of it? Or,
Yeah, I got the video still going.
Now we'll let it.
That's nice.
Yep. So this stuff, this is swirling paint, okay, and this one's like a metallic thing. This one, that's metallic. This is primary, and this is marbling. Actually, acrylic swirling now is really big. Like it's like in the hobby shop, you'll see it. The only thing is if it's water-based, it's going on this board, so I try to stay a little bit with oil-based because then it's just easier to use. But this is the stuff she used to get that effect.
That's the blue.
Does that make sense? This stuff's the blue. I'll try to do both so you can see what it will look like on it. So we shake it. You can open up, get some gloves on. All this is you need a garbage can. And this is just water, just room temperature water. You do want to try to not have stuff in it. I do have to say, once we do this, so I'm going to dip this. I'm going to cover it up and leave it. I'm not going to have to empty it out in between each time. You just clean the tops off. So this is just a garbage can. I did try to clean it out before I used it. This has been sitting for quite a time. The reason I did that is I was trying to make sure that the sediment kind of settles if there's any in there. But if you clean it, I would recommend you need a bigger one, a fairly big one. And what I mean by that is when we do this, this is going to go in it. If this is not deep enough to submerge this below, oh no, I think I'm good. I don't need to add more. This also, a guitar, this is wood. Wood is going to be buoyant. It's going to push back against you. Okay.
Open it.
Can't.
No.
So I'm just going to dump this in just to bring it up just a little bit. Is that, you guys see that? That's nothing big, no big deal. No big deal. Okay. Shaking this. Just pop this off. Usually I look back at the videos and I've been talking and I'm way off camera or I've not shared my screen and then I have to. All right. Now I've used this a bunch of times, right? So it's just water-based oil. Okay. Now, if you want, you can pour this into something that you can drip a little bit. The closer to the surface I am, the better off I am. So I can do this and take it and drip it this way. Does that make sense? I can drip it like this. Now I'm trying not to sink it. You see a bunch sank, but if I just let it, I'm trying to let it sit on the surface. You guys see that? And then I'll keep doing it. See how some goes low because I'm doing too heavy. Good. And then when I'm all done, I can take this and swirl it. Does that make sense? Then I can go, I can add more if I want to. I'm doing a little rush. Normally I wouldn't sink so much because I'm rushing it a little bit, but let me just.
So it's just a little heavy pour, that's why.
It's a little heavy pour. That's why I'm, yeah. So I can swirl it as I want to. You can kind of see, right? Also, you'll see it, the white, you have solid and then you have more diluted. Okay. So what she's going to do is take it. Yeah, I'm going to put this over here. She's going to take it. She's going to push it through and you can see she can catch the paint as she goes. She can catch what she's trying to do. She's going to go all the way down and put it below the surface to catch. Now, I'll just take paper towels. You can wipe it all up, but what I can also do is say I want to reuse this and do it more than once. I can pull off to the side and then I can just pull it. You see that? Now, then I have a choice. If I want to leave the dots on it, I will just leave it. If I shake it, the dots will go away. Does that make sense? If I'm worried about, like, once in a while, you'll get like thicker drips, like there. So if you're worried about, you can shake it, whatever. Does that make sense? Is that cool? And it will look different every time. Now, this paint that I still have here, if I want to, now I can just go over here. Now I might want to think if I'm going to drip paint, that's, you know, who knows. I can come right over and use this stuff. Yeah, you want to do it again? So if I want to use that paint up, notice that paint now is a little bit more circly, bubbly. I'll yank it out. See how that's thicker? So that will run down if I do that. Now this is layered. This is layered, right? Now, if I do a couple at the same time, it will. So if I have 2 or 3 colors, you can do that, but you want, when you get to 3 or 4, it gets really hard. So I always tell the kids, we'll do 2, we'll do 1, and we'll just keep doing each color thing. We'll wipe this star off, so that paint, you will get paint on your edge of your garment. But once I wipe this paint off, all the oil paint that's will sink. I can grab another color. I give it a little bit, but I can go right back and forth. I don't have to redo this color over and over, paint water over and over again. I don't have to yank it out. Does that make sense?
So to clean it, just so I'm understanding, you can wipe,
Yep.
you just wipe off the top layer.
Just take, I grabbed newspapers or something. I didn't bring any with me today. I just wipe the top layer off. So then I just go and wipe the top, wipe it off. And then I'll just keep grabbing it and throwing it away.
So what about on the bottom?
It sinks when I'm all done. So I'm going to leave this because kids, now they'll see this. They're all like, let's go get paint. What I'll do is I'll leave this like this. This will all settle. So I'm just getting the big stuff. This will all, anything that's you're not will settle. And then you go. I do have to say, I try to get, who wants to
So
do
when
what?
you say settle,
It will
it'll settle
to the bottom.
congeal?
Huh? Yeah, it'll congeal at the bottom. When I'm all done, I dump it out and I wipe it down and there's just your
And
paint.
you're all done today?
No,
or
no.
the end
At the end of, I usually let this go 4 or 5 dips,
Okay.
you know, and time, it's time, you know, like there's a point, like if it gets too far away, you know, I don't want to constantly, it's not a big deal to take the water out and do another, but it's just kind of annoying.
So when you clean that,
Yep.
you're pouring it out, is it still
You'll
coming
see,
down?
right, if you come over, you'll see drops of white. It'll be wet by even when I'm out
So when
cleaning.
you pour
I
it,
just wipe it down
okay.
with like paper towels and it'll paint the garbage to it.
And you
And then,
wipe that
and
down.
just let it dry and then you're fine. And the next time, there is some, I usually try to say to the kids, who's going to do white? And we all dip white,
Sure.
you know, it's depending on what the 2
Because when you
colors.
pour paint back in, you're gonna stir that.
Yeah,
sediment
and I
too.
kind of think,
I mean,
okay, who's
water
gonna
back
do
in.
white? We do the white. Oh, okay, you guys are doing white and you're doing black, and we mix, you know, as we go. All right, so this stuff, this marbling, so if I dip it, I'm dropping it.
This is the blue that.
This is
mine
the
did.
blue. see how it looks a little different. It's kind of hard to see, right? Now, a couple things too is it's also I've done that other oil-based paint. Normally I wouldn't have done it right back to back. I would have done this. Like this could all tomorrow, this would all have settled, but there we go. Now dip it in. Pull it out. Might not show very well on the. No, I don't think you're seeing it.
bright.
It's too bright. She did it on her white, so you could see
Oh,
it.
sure.
Yeah, let me get a brighter
I do.
color. Oh, yeah, see how it came out on the neck?
You want a deeper blue?
No, do like a light color, something light. Yellow.
We'll do this bright.
Actually, grab a light color from that stuff. See the neck got white, so I can wipe that off because that's sealed. Not a big deal. This is my demo guitar. Isn't there a purple?
Rose.
Rose? How about
Violet.
Violet? Have that. This is just a different brand. So I'm painting it, I'm dripping it. Okay, yeah, this one sits better on top. You can see it. That's the other stuff is just that has to be like on whiter colors. I'm gonna leave it dotted, but I could see how it's pulling it and then now pull it up. You know, we could have cleaned that off. Is it showing? Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You can see a little bit. Does that make sense? It's just hard to see because of the dark colors, but if I did it on the light one, you guys see that though? But there's you can use different stuff. You know, good. As long as it's oil based, it will dip and then we just take paper towels and good. Okay, go. Paper towels. It's the easiest thing is just grab a whole bunch of old grab some old newspaper, wipe your top. And all you're doing is taking off the big clumps. And then later on, like I'll come back in like in the morning and do it again to catch any big pieces. Then what you'll find is all this will settle. All this will settle. I'm going to start with this. All this will settle. And again, I don't have to take that all out. You can, but you'll find if you do, you'll be doing it constantly. Constantly. Everyone clear with dip painting. All right. And I'll show you pictures in a second. I have 5 million different versions. Like every time you do it, like there'll never be another guitar like that dip ever. So it's kind of a neat thing for the kids to see.
But the cool thing too is it changed that whole perspective. Like the green is kind of like, you can kind of limit it. But when you marbled it with a white, it's like, oh, that's a lot.
And even the one that was already dipped.
Yeah.
When you added the white, changed it all completely.
That seems really
A really cool, and you'll see hers. They both did something similar, but hers, I don't know. I loved it. This effect. This is that stuff, but because she had white, notice it has black and the blue. So we had the oil-based black with that blue, and that's where you get
at the same time.
Yeah, and you see how you get these circles, holes in it. And again, it was really cool. We actually look at the color was darker too. Like we thought this was going to be a much darker blue.
I thought it was gonna be that dark.
Yeah, and then it came out lighter.
So these are where you let it dry.
Yeah. Oh no, this material. These mixed together. This marble. This marbling. You know.
No, you said the circles are like.
Yeah. This was when you put this black oil-based paint and then you draw this in it.
Oh, okay.
This makes those two go kind of separate each other. So that's where you got that effect from mixing. Again, this is mixed media. You have to.
Yeah,
I can't. And the only caveat is we had one kid the red. I have to say, red does give you fits. I did red before, and I'll show you the sample. And it came out looking like Spider-Man, but we put it in and it diluted. Like I pulled it out, and it was like I never put any red on it at all. And I'm like, but then we played with it again, and he did other colors. Then we came back. So you can never tell what's going to happen. And then I pulled it out and I didn't shake it off. And I'm like, came back and went, oh, there's all these little like water droplets in it. And it was an effect that because of that, like until you do it, you don't know, you don't learn that. All right. I have put the links there. Some stuff, I think this marbling paint, Magic Marble Company, it might be going out of business or gone, but that you can find stuff like this. You have to play with it. You can always test, right? You could always take a piece of wood, drop it in, test it, and to be honest, some of the magic of the dipping is that it's unique every time, so you don't care. And again, so we kind of comfortable so far? We seeing, and if you look within this thing, so these are guitars that my kids are doing now, and I'll show you samples too, but you've got a solid paint with dipping, you got wood, you got just regular spray paint, no dipping at all. She's hand painting this. She could have sprayed it and hand painted it. I haven't got a lot of kids yet. I'm assuming with the vinyl printer, we'll start getting, like I had a kid make a stencil with AC/DC, or like you'll start to get that too. The other thing is you can start, and this is just hand paint. The funny thing is, I've seen 3 iterations of this guitar from this girl. It was white. I came in as white, and she had hand painted like little things and everything on it. I went, oh, that's really cool. I came back and it was all black with this, so she keeps, it was, again, it's her guitar, but you'll see they will come up with reiterations. I had one girl, and I'll show it to you. She did a graffiti guitar. In the process, you're going, what is she doing? But what she did is layer, and when you're all done, you had like 5 different like graffiti logos and stuff on it, and it was like, oh, that's really cool. Now I get, and she was making stickers, sticking them, peeling them off, and you don't see that layering. David, these guys did this dual mixing ink with dipping and cutting and taping, and when you're going through the process, you're like, what are they doing? And when you don't see it until the end. When you peel the tape off, and you go, oh, I get what she was trying to do. Now you do have to get them to think of finishes, whatever. Yeah, but that type, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. Now, and we can go back and fix it and stuff or not. Like, I like that I like it. You know what I mean? Letting them have imperfections is part of it.
Perfect.
Yeah, what is perfect? And this is dipped. See the head stock? This is a different dipping than this one. And you can see the line. So it's very thin, like how much paint you put, and you really have control over your art from it. Guys, does that make sense? Okay.
So was the ink treated before you taped it, or
Um,
did the tape seal it for the wall?
Did you, again, we've done this a little last year. So you sanded your body, you had your body. The body was wood. What did we do? Did you immediately go and tape it and paint it the white, or did we ink it?
We taped the inside, the one to ink.
Okay.
We sprayed through this.
And,
She did, 'cause I was-
and the ink side was wood taped, but it was wood underneath the tape.
Yeah.
When you dipped it in the tape protected it enough. You can see, when you dip it.
Also, it wasn't sealed.
Yeah, I don't, and I've done it both ways. We could have sealed it too with just enough and then put ink, sand it off and put ink. You don't dip it. You notice how it went
It's
in?
not long enough.
It's not long enough.
And was it frog tape?
Yeah, it
That's
was really
pretty-
good tape.
That's
Yeah.
good tape.
I also think, the other thing too is this stuff is where, because this is open grain, where this isn't, it's been sanded. This is where the paint sucks in and stuff. So you could say, go in and hand paint that, that type of thing. But that was a mixed. I've done so many now that I
Sure.
yeah. But does that make sense?